Well, it's quite obvious we missed a big opportunity in the ball game this weekend, and we were really disappointed. And that, like I said the other night, it's clear that we didn't play well enough coming out of the chutes. We came out kind of like we did the week before, and struggled offensively. And then in the second half, we took off and did all kinds of stuff and scored a bunch of points and put up yards and all that and got back on track. And so that's something we're trying to square away so that we can play good solid ball games here. This one coming up is hugely important for us to find some rhythm that goes from start to finish and play complementary football like we have a good part of the year. But we needed the defense to help us out in the second half. They played a good first half with a save in one play, and then the last few times these guys had the ball, they moved it down the field and got the points they needed. So I thought Carson again did a really good job and manufactured a win for him, and we're really disappointed in that. Kicking game kind of got us. The Cardinals have been real effective versus us when we're kicking the football, and they did it again. And Housh had a tough time, and something the numbers kind of show over time. We got to do better against these guys. So we missed that opportunity to take advantage of a special teams situation that we maybe could have. And so we really just didn't do what we wanted to do. And but I'm really fired up about some stuff and fired up about us getting better, and know that third down numbers went in the right direction again on offense. That's really important for us. The ability to come back and get back in the game, really important for us. We just didn't close it out the way we wanted to. So very difficult to take.
Pete, offensively in the first half, just when you watched the tape, what were the issues that were slowing you down on all the
Well, we just couldn't get started. We struggled in every aspect of it, it seemed, and it starts up front. We just weren't playing effectively. The main thing that we take away, though, is that we did in the second half. From the start of the third quarter on, we were in sync and sharp and productive and physical, and we came out and didn't get that done in the first half. So. That was the biggest thing that jumped out, looking at it, and that, everything could be better, and so we'll see.
Is there an update on Thomas Rawls at all? What his availability would be?
He has an afternoon MRI. I don't have the results of that. He thought he was okay, though. He felt okay when I visited with him.
Have you had a chance to talk to Tyler Lockett in the last 24 hours or so?
Yeah, he's making it through it. He's feeling better today than he did, after the surgery and all of that. He's getting better. He's going to stay in the hospital for another day or so just because it's easier for him. And so we'll see how that goes. It's kind of day to day. He's comfortable being there right now with under the circumstances. The surgery went exceptionally well, and he has a real chance to come, get back going and moving 4 to 6 weeks from now, and from there he'll work his way back in a few months and have a chance to get himself going. He's absolutely positively optimistic about all of that, all he can do is ask about everybody else. He wants to know how everybody else is doing, and he was fired up that the receivers all made touchdowns and all that stuff, and couldn't help but talk about everything other than himself. So in classic Lock fashion. So he's being a real stud about it.
How much of a concern at this point is the communication issues, the mental lapses on the offensive line, and how do you get that cleaned up 15 games?
Well, let me say it again. It was one way, then it wasn't, so it's there to be had. It's there to be done properly and well and all of that. And really the last 2 weeks both show that. The numbers are in the second half of the last 2 games, we put up 480 yards and 42 points, and in the first half of those games we put up 13 points and 200 yards. So it's pretty clear that we've got something we can latch onto here. We need to get it cleaned up.
What, if any, are long-term concerns with Lockett's injury?
No. Really, that from all indications that if everything goes as it's supposed to, he should be in pretty good shape and have a chance to come back, really without question. But there's always an opportunity for complications and stuff. But the extraordinary worker that he is, his attitude, his mentality will all lead to the indications that he should be able to come roaring back from this.
So he started training camp, perhaps?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
So it was just the breaks. It wasn't the ligament stuff like what Thomas had a year ago.
Right.
Was it compound displaced, and was an implement in there?
Yes.
What do you returner obviously was a big role for him. What do you do there now?
Well, fortunately, Paul jumped up and looked pretty good back there, and we've used him in the past, and he's done some good stuff. So that gives us a chance. We'll take a look at McKissick and see how he does. That's one of the reasons we thought he might be able, or one of the areas we thought he might be able to help us and back up. So we'll see how that goes this week.
And punt return as well, or who?
We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
You mentioned Paul, obviously a big opportunity for him now at receiver as well to do more.
Yeah, he did a very nice job in the game too, and came through for us on some big third down plays and big touchdown catch and all that. He really did. He jumped at the opportunity, which is so often our case that we see our guys do that. When you give them a shot, they come through and do something. And I thought Paul really responded beautifully for us.
It seemed like throughout this year, even when he hasn't been playing a lot, there seems to be kind of that one or two chances a game where he's made some big catches.
Yeah, he's been solid throughout, and he's been in the rotations, but it's hard to get guys a lot of turns when they're rotating in. But he's got great speed. He's making big catches, and he's doing great things. So we're gonna throw him in there, and away we go.
The explosive plays that Arizona had. Where did you see the breakdowns on those?
Well, they had a few. We missed a big tackle on the run that broke out. We just got out of place in the middle back there on the 80-yarder, and missed a tackle on the slant that went for about 50. So there was, those are the really obvious cleanups. They're just right in front of you. There's no issue about what there's no mystique about this one. They just got to make our plays and position ourselves a little bit better so that it makes the play a little easier.
When you look at how the Steven had those couple plays back there on the 80-yarder and the slant to Nelson too, what do you kind of teach him on those couple things? Is there anything?
It's one of them was the read. It was a clear read that it was a post coming to you, and he got caught a little bit. This is stuff that Earl did in his first year or two, as well. He missed the opportunity for a really clear rep about something that that you're prepared for. Got to learn the hard way sometimes, unfortunately. And then just a little bit over the top on the slant, and he took off and went. We got into chase mode.
How'd you feel about George Fant and his performance?
I really liked the second half. First half was really a struggle for all our guys, but he showed that he understood how to adjust and get right and play a good half. He did it.
Anything in particular from that second half?
Really solid, poised, about seeing things and adjusting. Was fine physically. We're showing youth, and awareness of a new group out there we're going against, and overreacting some, to stuff that's happening. Then when they settle down, they're fine. And it's a very positive thought in that we know we can get them. We just got to make sure we do it throughout the whole game and see if we can get them right from the start.
How did Gary Gilliam do at right tackle?
About the same. The second half was really good, compared to the first half. I'm going to tell you that on all five of the guys.
Is there anything alarming, the fact that the consistency hasn't come here late December?
No, I don't think it's alarming. I just think it's what we're working with, and obviously it's going to be really difficult to expect us to play a great game until we do. You want to see that. I know that's what you're waiting for. But we're counting on our guys being able to play off of one another, play off the defense and how they're playing and special teams, and put together good games. And, we got one big game coming up, and we'll see where we are after this week. And nobody knows right now. We'll see what happens. We got to win our game, take care of business, and we'll see where that leaves us. And then away we go. Then it's the new season, and we'll see how that goes.
How are Cam and Ataba doing? I know they both had issues in game.
Cam felt better today, and Rue's he's gonna be a little sore. He got a sore wrist, and a sprained wrist, but he'll be okay.
When Cam went out, it looked like you went with Teron Johnson. Why him over Kelsey McRae?
He liked the way he plays and wanted to give him a shot and see how he did.
Kelsey.
Sorry, go ahead.
Good hit.
Is Kelsey? At free safety, he's been playing there the last couple of weeks. Is he an option at free safety, or?
He can play there too. Yes.
How'd you kind of see the pass rush? You only got Palmer down the one time, but
Yeah, it was there was pretty good rush. We hit him quite a few times and got after it. Didn't throw the ball very much. They didn't have that many plays really, but we put some good heat on them. We needed, obviously we needed it in the last drive, and we didn't get what we needed there. But there were some really big moments of big rush, and it led to the great third down numbers. That was part of it.
with all the running backs you've had to go through this year, I think you have 8-9 guys that have had carries for you. You're it's great
Really diversified. Yeah.
How are the guys you have now? McGee, McKissick? How do you move forward if Thomas couldn't end up going this week? How do you kind of handle
Well, I think he will end up going, so I really don't have to go into that.
Along those lines, so Alex had a pretty big opportunity. Looks like he
Alex did very well. Yeah, he really jumped out there and ran the ball well, caught the ball well, picked up a couple pressures, and did a nice job. Maybe really that was his really best showing, and it was great to see it. They have no problem, running with Alex and giving him the football. He did fine.
You had said he made some progress here recently. Is that how it showed up? It seemed like he had a little more burst to him than maybe earlier in the
I think his confidence is gaining, on what's going on up front and seeing things, and he was very aggressive, looked very tough running the football, and very much in the style that we saw him when we went after him, and so it was great to see that. He hasn't had that many opportunities, hadn't had enough consistency in his ops, which the running backs really need to show who they are, and so we'll see here down the stretch. We have no hesitation to put him in the game.
Does anyone else step into the receiver thing? I mean, if Tyler, without him, you got a roster move, do you?
Yeah. Have we done that yet? We'll let you know. It's coming.
Is McKissick still a receiver, though, or is he?
He can do. Yeah, he is a receiver. That's what he's come to us as. We've been working with him in a couple different spots.
You mentioned on the radio that you just had to have a meeting last Wednesday to go kind of put some closure on the Richard Sherman stuff. Why was there a need to do that?
That was just part of why we met. That was one issue that we brought up, and there was some other stuff just moving forward. Trying to make sure that we keep bringing the young guys along, and there's a lot of young guys in this team, and as we're going down the stretch here, we need to help them, understand kind of what's expected and how they should deal with kind of what appears to be the mounting issues, as you get to the end of the season and playoffs coming and all of that, holidays and all that kind of stuff. So we did all of that.
Bobby Wagner set the franchise record for most tackles in a season on Saturday. Your thoughts on the year he's had and how he's come along for you even more?
Yeah, first I appreciate you bringing it up because it kind of got lost, and that's a fantastic accomplishment, an extraordinary demonstration of consistency over the years too. He's really become a great football player and a great leader, and he does everything that you could hope a guy to do. Had another big game, 10 tackles again, and he just does everything. So yeah, I'm glad we mentioned that because it really is worthy of note. It's because to do that you have to do it for a long period of time, over the season, and he's been just fantastic.
Anything else? Thank you.